Hey guys, welcome back. I'm actually going to be doing some work on some Mustang stuff today. So when I installed the US Shift Quick 6 controller, swapped in a 6R80 to my Mustang, this also allows me to wire in some paddle shifters with the controller. So there are connections to the controller that I can wire these up, so I'm just trying to fabricate fabricate them onto the steering wheel. Kind of already started on this side. Basically just to go over how you remove one of these your steering wheel from the car. You're just going to need an 8mm socket on the side of the steering wheel. There are two 8mm. You remove that. Once you have 8mm on both sides unbolted, you should be able to remove the airbag. There are two positive negative cables that are on there that you will need to disconnect. What you'll want to do is very important. You want to disconnect your battery, leave it disconnected from like 2 to 10 minutes, just as long as the battery is, or as long as the whole system is discharged. You should be safe, and you just unplug it. I have the airbag sitting up here, actually, right over there. Once you have that disconnected, there's going to be a big 24mm bolt in the center. You'll just want your steering wheel center so you know it's going on the right way. Unbolt that and it should come right off really easily. You don't need any special tools to pull off the steering wheel. It's all very simple. And then from there, you'll have these guys. All they do is they, with their nubs sitting there, what I did is I got a soft pry tool, put it right up here, went straight up, popped them out. And they're really easy. So that leads me to the first one. I basically felt where I wanted it on there with my hand, where it was comfortable, and then I I marked it down. The hole that's right here, I cut myself. This one was not revealed to me because I hadn't removed any of the material yet. Either way, it's fine. That's where the screw hole is going to go. Once I feed the wire through, that is exactly right where it comes through. So just need to figure out a way to fabricate this. My original thought process before I really thought about it entirely was I was just going to remove all the material so this can sit flush on the back. See, it has a ridge there. It would just sit flush there. But with that, I'm not exactly sure if there'd be anywhere for me to mount it to. So with this here, there's metal. I can basically cut or fabricate a plate onto it, sandwich it, and then I have these screws that fit the holes here, so that can hold it down. And then also there needs to be room for the electronics on the back. We do have quite a bit of room, probably up to about right here. So all this is open. Right here is kind of where the electronics sit, so it also kind of needs to be low profile. So I'm going to go ahead and just do some brainstorming with it, see exactly what would be the best way to do it. I could also secure this with a washer instead of one of these if it's too bulky. So I'm going to go ahead and keep working on this and show you once I have some more progress. Well, ran into a little bit of a snag here. I did get the surface cleaned up, and this would be the upside, so upshift side. Secured on, need some washers and whatnot, and those screws. One thing I did find is that it was broken, actually, so that's the downshift. You can see how the yellow silicone button is held in with those tabs on the left and the right. This one, they're actually broken off. So it'd work a little bit and then it would just stop working. So I'm trying to figure out a way to put those tabs back without having to buy a new one because that would suck. Just really working with some hot glue right now, just trying to figure out what to do with it. So that's where I'm at now. I'm going to mess around with this a little bit more and show you once I have some more progress on it. One other problem we're running into is when we're putting the paddle shifter in, the screw face here comes above this line. So that means I can't exactly secure it down with any washers unless I have a washer on that face, preventing this from coming above this point here, and then put another washer sandwiching it together. But when I do that, what it does is it basically comes out as far as the screw face does. So it would be sitting above the line that far. So just need to work with this, figure out exactly what I want to do with it, or if there's a way if I can just completely mount it in here, just remove all this material and then see if there's a way to secure it. Just going to keep working at that. Alright, just wanted to get this in some light there so you can see the upshift is secured here, and it's on tight. But this is a problem I was talking about. When you do that, you sandwich the spacers. As you can see there, that's pretty much as close as it can get because it is sitting on that thread's face there. So, I mean, I don't mind the spacing of it. My hand reaches it just fine. Just right here, I mean, it works perfectly fine. One thing that I don't like, though, is still that slop, like I mentioned. I wouldn't really want to have to touch this at all. To be honest, I might just contact the seller that I bought this from and see if they have, like, a spare, or just if I can buy a new one, or if I can just make a better solution for it, because it's just way too much slop. So, yeah, I'm going to go ahead and see what else I can do. I'm pretty much done for what I'm going to do today with this project. I'd like to ideally get it just flush. It'd be nice looking, but just need to figure out a way to fabricate this to mount it, and then also just need to replace this upshift one or fabricate something that'll fix the issue I'm running into. So. Hey guys, welcome back. I'm going to be working on the paddle shifters for my 6R80. Last we left off, the upshift paddle was actually having some problems. The internals in it were kind of broken. There are two tabs that hold the paddle portion on so it doesn't slop and the membrane button doesn't fall out of place. I actually ended up contacting the eBay seller I bought from and told him what happened. He actually ended up sending me another part. So this is one that I think he just had lying around. It is not the same style, but the plastic portion is the same. So I was able to swap this out, get the part that I needed, basically just the black part here, and swap it on there. And it works perfectly fine now, which is great. And I'm thinking about how I was going to modify this. I'm thinking I'm going to leave it how it is right here with the two washers set up, sandwiched like that. For a couple of reasons. I don't want to have to remove all this material and then for whatever reason realize I'm not going to be able to make it work, or it's going to just take longer. This way is totally fine. Hand placement is almost better for me in this position right here. Since it's farther back, I'll have a better grip on it versus if it was closer to the steering wheel here. What I ended up doing is I had some spare weather stripping like this. So I just cut it up to length and cut it just a little bit bigger than the gap between here, so it'll smush it down and grip it better. Also, this has tape, adhesive tape, so I'll probably just get the top lip here. Should hold it on pretty good. I already test fit it. Let me go ahead and put it on and show you guys. So here it is attached. It's by no means perfect, but literally no one's going to be able to see behind the steering wheel. This just makes it look a little bit better. Like I said, this is just some weather stripping. I got it to fit. And once I'm ready to go, ready to set this for good, I'm going to go ahead and remove that adhesive tape so it can at least adhere to it a little bit better. I think it looks fine. It's not intrusive, and also you're not going to see that at all. I mean, maybe the passenger, but that's about it. You're not going to be focusing on it. So I'm going to go ahead and start working on the other side. Just going to be using my air grinder and drill a similar hole like this. Once this is put back together, I'll be able to put my steering wheel back together, and I will be able to put this back in the car. One other thing to note is there is all these electronics on here. Another good reason to do it this way instead of drilling this all out and having it sit flush is it might come in contact with this. There might be clearancing issues, but with this, I can tell right now it's going to be there's going to be nothing in the way. All this material here was up to here, was already higher than this screw head, or this bolt head, so it should be fine and good to go. Alright, I got the downshift kind of crudely attached here. With these holes, there is actually a little bit of adjustment up and down, so Isaiah gave me this, I think it's like a tailor's measuring tape, just to measure with. The downshift needs to be raised just a little bit higher. But otherwise, it's looking pretty cool. I think I'm going to take them off. I'm going to put some Loctite on the threads, just so that there's no vibrations that might cause us to loosen up, or at least it'll hold it for longer. And then I'm going to take my weather stripping and cut a identical piece to this one here. And it should be good to go back in the car just to at least sit until I'm ready to start wiring it up. Once I do the wiring process, I'll take I'm guessing the red wire is power and then the blue is ground. They all wire into a switch, and then once those get flipped on, basically it's in the controller. I'll have more details once I'm actually installing the wiring in the car. With quarantine and everything, I do have a lot of time to do this, so I should get it done pretty quickly. So I'm going to go ahead and button this up and show you the finished product with the paddle shifters on the wheel here. Alright, now that I got the Loctite in, this is as much adjustment as the downshift has, which is totally fine. Fits perfectly fine. I'm going to go ahead and lower the upshift paddle just a little bit, just so it lines up, and I'll be using that Taylor measuring tape to make sure everything's all set. Alright guys, I got this all tightened down exactly where I want it, measured it out, and let's see up against the white background. Looks pretty even to me. Truthfully, this entire thing has been eyeballed mostly. I did use that just to kind of make sure they're within like a couple millimeters of each other, which they are. But all in all, really, I mean, it doesn't look nice, but once they cover everything up, put the covers on and stuff, it'll look fine. Where they are feel good too. So I'm going to go ahead and make the weather stripping for the downshift side, and then get all of the trim back on. Alright guys, the steering wheel has been put back together. I think it looks really awesome. I got the cables routed out here, out of the way. I'm just going to leave them for now. I'm going to install my steering wheel back in place. I will not start on the wiring it up today. Definitely not today. Later this week, most likely. And so that'll just be out of the way. It'll be easy. Once I want to start doing this, I'll just go ahead and remove my airbag again, and it'll be right here, easily accessible. We'll need to figure out how to get the cabling out of here, and even like when I'm turning the steering wheel, how I'm going to handle that. Maybe just a lot of cable. But all in all, it was pretty good. I did accidentally mess up one spot. Right there, you can kind of see the, right there, yeah. Took a little bit out, but I mean, you're literally not going to be able to see this behind the steering wheel. These came out pretty nice, actually, I think. My weather stripping idea. So I'm not going to fret about it too much. I'm just going to go ahead and get this back in the car so I can get my steering wheel back in place, and I'll show you once it's in the car. Alright, kind of funny thing, since everybody's been in quarantine, myself included, I actually haven't driven my car in like, it's actually over about 2 weeks now. I did about like a week ago or a week and a half ago, before I took the steering wheel off, start up the car and just got it running to charge the battery. When I removed the steering wheel, I was going to keep it removed during this whole time, but I guess this like pulls charge or something, because my battery died. It's just straight up dead right now. So anyways, I took the negative terminal off the battery. Probably didn't even need to do that since the car is dead, but just to be safe when I'm plugging the airbag back in. So I'm going to go ahead and get the steering wheel on. Basically, you just want to get these airbag wires through the hole here. Don't want to mess with the clutch spring. There. So also, when I left the car, I kept it straight, the wheel straight. Basically, you just want to be able to line up the center nut there. I'm going to go ahead and get the center nut in there, and then get my impact on it. Looks like I forgot to plug back in these electrical connections into the steering wheel. The steering wheel obviously is not meant for this car. This is from a 11 to 14 Mustang. And with the Quick 6 that I've installed, I actually don't even have a... oh, damn, I know what happened here, I think. I think I left the turn signal on. The stock's right there. Shit. Well, anyways, I haven't been able to make this work anyways because of the It's just not made for it, so none of the electronics worked for it. But they did come on. The lights came on, so it looked nice at least. So I am going to go ahead and make sure there's nothing else I'm missing here connection-wise, but I don't think there is. Got the airbag here. What you want to do is you want to get the negative and positive plugged back in. Then you want to line it up. And then there are two 8mm holes on the side. Let's see if I can get it. So it's going to be actually behind my paddle shifters right in there. So that hole that secures down to the airbag, holds it in. There are also these two trim pieces that will go in the holes covering up the bolts. All right, got the steering wheel all installed finally. I have the upshift and downshift paddles. They're in great positions, I feel like. For me, they're got a good grip on them. Also, you're not going to be noticing the sides very much. I mean, unless you're trying to look for them, you won't see anything behind there. I think it looks fine either way. So this is going to end off this part of the paddle shifter install. They are physically in the car now. There's a couple things I do need to figure out. I don't want the cabling binding up when I'm, turning the steering wheel fully. So I'll need to figure out how to do that. What the best strategy to fix that would be. Also, I need to go into the engine bay and actually route the wires because they're all bundled together towards the PCM there. And I'll come out here next to the US Shift Quick 6 and I'll go ahead and wire it up for you guys. So. Alright guys, that's going to end it off for today. Very happy that I was able to get the steering wheel finally back in my car. Not exactly sure why it died, but it's whatever. I'll go ahead and get it charged up so I can drive it and continue with the paddle shifter installation. Just need to figure out the cabling so it doesn't get bound up when I turn the steering wheel, and then need to just wire it in. It'll be pretty simple. So we're going to go ahead and end it off there. Thanks for watching. Like, subscribe, leave a comment down below. We actually now have Jury Rig Garage stickers for sale. These are, in my opinion, pretty good quality. They're made out of the same vinyl that they would put on like cars, for example. The company I went with said that they're good for about 8 years out in the open conditions, so pretty good, and they're a glossy finish and really nice. So I'm going to be selling these for about $3.99. So message me on YouTube, Facebook, Instagram. All those will be linked in the description. If you're interested, be sure to get one. Thanks for watching. Bye.